guys, it's Nichola from Club Pilates Australia. I was just jumping online because I've been sat at my desk all morning, have realised that I haven't got up and moved really, and just like you, working from home and feeling the effects of sitting at my kitchen table for the last couple of hours, but my shoulders have been hunched to my ears, been rounding my spine, and just realising that my back doesn't feel particularly great. So if you're feeling like me and you want to move, one of the best pieces of equipment I could say to purchase, maybe get that online just now, foam roller, maybe $50 to $60, it's going to be the best investment that you will ever buy. So what I'm going to do is just lie long ways across the foam roller. It's going to help open up my chest. It's going to help open up my thoracic spine, which is going to help relieve a little bit of tension around the neck and the shoulders. So I'm going to sit, luckily I'm really short, so I'm going to sit at one end. Just going to use my hands, you roll and support yourself. Find a nice comfortable position, just where you can feel your shoulder blades just wrap around the roller. You have your tailbone fairly heavy with what we call a neutral spine, pubic bone and navel level. There's a little bit of a gap underneath my lower back lumbar curve, and I'm just going to place my palms out to the sky, and I'm just going to lie for a couple of seconds and breathe, breathing in through the nose, out through the mouth. Big deep breaths, just really being mindful. I'm going to try and relax the tension from around the neck and around the shoulders. Just slightly worried that my dog is going to probably walk up into the frame in a second, but hey, that's working from home, what's happening. And just close your eyes, just focus on yourself, your breathing, where you're holding tension. And just try to let that tension disappear from around the neck and the shoulders, maybe the jaw. You might want to open and close the mouth, maybe move the jaw from side to side. And I'm going to slowly turn the palms face down to the ground. I'm just going to engage through my shoulder blades by wrapping them around the roller. So I'm sort of trying to pinch the roller between my shoulder blades, and you'll see that my chest naturally lifts a little bit higher to the skyline. And then from there, oh, my dog's behind me, just having a quick nose at what's going on. Okay, and then from there, I'm just going to close the gap underneath my lumbar curve by engaging through my core. So I'm pulling up through the pelvic floor, drawing my navel into my spine and drawing my ribcage to my hips. So I feel fairly balanced on the foam roller. And then all I'm going to do is breathe in, take the shoulders up to the ears, and then roll them back and exhale fully. So I'm just trying to get the shoulders to round and then release. And it feels really nice between the shoulder blades, nice little bit of tension release, nice little free massage for my back. So as I do that, feeling that my neck feels a little bit looser. And I feel quite stable still on the foam roller, so you can play around with either keeping that imprinted spine or that neutral spine. And then making that the last one, just feeling that tension has disappeared a little bit from the neck and the shoulders. So now I'm going to focus more on the lower part of my spine. I'm going to start to move the pelvis, pressing down into the tailbone so that my lower back arches. My ribcage will lift to the skyline, and I've created a big curve underneath my lower back. And then I'm going to draw the ribcage to the hip line, and I'm going to pull up through my pelvic floor just to get that little bit of a lift through the tailbone. I want to do all of this with minimal effort so the rest of the body stays tension free. I'm just moving the pelvis forward and back or up and down, that sort of rolling sensation. And again, I'm getting a little free massage along the spine. It feels really nice. And you can play around with your range of movements. We're going to go bigger curve through that lower back. Let the ribcage lift, let the shoulder blades draw back. I get a nice stretch through that pec minor. And then close. And then from there, we're going to remind the body that we have a core. And when we sit at a desk for long periods of time, that core sometimes switches off. So engaging through my lower abdominal muscles by pulling up through my pelvic floor. Imagining I'm closing the gap between my two hips into the center and drawing that ribcage to the hip line. So now I'm in an imprinted spine position. I'm going to start to alternate, lifting the legs one at a time into tabletop, really slow and steady, with this awareness that when I draw the leg up into tabletop, I'm pulling the thigh bone deep into the cave of my hip. Breathing in through the nose, exhaling as I lift the leg. And I want to try to aim to get 90 degrees of flexion at the knee and the hip. So it's quite a decisive move as I bring that leg up. I do find that I tend to round my shoulders, especially when I sit at a desk. So it's a challenge for me to keep my shoulders just stable and keep the collarbone really broad and wide. And to keep that spine in that imprint position, I can feel my lower back wants to pull away. I'm going to bring one leg up. I'm going to find this little tricky position where I'm going to balance on the foam roller. And this is going to be a little bit of a challenge to keep that spine imprinted and talk. Okay, I can multitask. And then I'm going to start to alternate my little toe taps. I'm aiming to keep that spine imprinted, my shoulders relaxed. So again, minimal effort. I'm not holding tension through the neck and the shoulders. Just reminding my lower abdominal muscles that they need to switch on. And then always safely, one leg at a time, out of tabletop. So feeling like I have woken up the core, I'm just going to go from there to my spinal bridge. So I'm going to remind the body that I have some glutes, even though I've been sat on them all day, that they should do some work for me. So again, finding our imprint spine position, my pubic bone slightly higher than my navel. I'm going to hold the roller gently between my shoulder blades. Gaze is neutral to the sky. I'm not arching my neck or chucking my chin to my chest. I'm going to take a big long breath in through my nose, and as I exhale, pull up through that pelvic floor, curl and lift the tailbone. And then I'm trying to roll my spine segment by segment, curling off the roller towards the skyline. Feels nice to open the hips, glutes are active. I'm just going to slightly tuck my tailbone between my legs and find a little bit more energy in the glutes. I'm going to take a big breath in, and as I exhale, trying to mold the vertebrae of my spine one by one, back in turn into the roller, and I feel like I wobble a little bit here. And then that lovely release. Okay, so you can do these a couple of times, just that real connection with your core. Again, that minimal effort where the shoulders stay relaxed, we don't hunch the shoulders. Get that nice stretch through the front of the body, the glutes are active, hamstrings are working. It's what we call the posterior chain exercise. We're working on the back of the body and coming down to rest. Okay, so from there, I'm just going to very elegantly, there's no elegant way really, to roll off the roller. We're going to take that foam roller now, so we're going to take it and we're just going to use it as a little bit of an aid for our roll up. So I'm going to have the foam roller just between both hands. I'm going to keep the shoulders, again, nice and relaxed, drawn away from my ears. I'm going to find an upright position where I'm balancing on my sit bones. I'm going to bring my gaze forward. I'm going to take a big breath in, and as I exhale, I start to tuck my tailbone between my legs, so I curl off my sit bones. From there, I'm going to lengthen the legs long away from me. I'm going to slowly melt. It'd be really nice if I had a mat, but one of my children have stolen it. Back into the ground. And then I'm going to reach the foam roller overhead as I take a big breath in. And I want to get a good spine stretch all the way from the tips of my fingers all the way out to my toes. I get this lovely length in my body. And then as I exhale, I'm going to apply a little bit of pressure through the palm of the hands. I'm going to start to nod my chin towards my chest. I'm going to pull up through my pelvic floor first, draw my belly button to my spine, and curl, trying not to hitch myself all the way up. And then I'm just going to reach that foam roller towards my toes and then get a nice stretch through my hamstrings. Well, I'll be honest, it's not so nice because I've been sat at a desk. And then I'm going to come back up to that upright position. So, chin to chest first, and we tuck that tailbone between our legs, curl our weight off our sit bones. We want that rounding through the spine and that really slow melting sensation where we're just holding on, a little bit of a shake through the abs. And then that length in the spine. Feels really nice to just let my whole body stretch. And then again, a little bit of pressure through the palms. We're going to go chin to chest, scoop through your abdominal muscles, pull up through the pelvic floor. Try not to hitch and lift the legs. Keep them long as we come up and over those sit bones. And again, that lovely stretch, and it opens up the back of my spine, which feels really, really good. Then I'm going to pop the foam roller down. So it's beside me, just by my left side. I'm going to turn and tuck my right leg. I don't know if you can see, I haven't really got to grips with working the camera from home. So left leg in towards my tailbone, tuck my right leg in towards my pubic bone, so I'm sat in that semi-mermaid position. I'm just going to place my hand onto the roller to support me so I can lean to my left and stretch out through that right side. And then I'm going to come back through to the center. That left arm will go overhead. And I get that lovely stretch through the obliques. So I'm basically opening up the ribs to get this lateral stretch to the side. So we're just doing a little mermaid sweep and stretch, and you can really make it as dynamic or as slow. And again, if I had a mat, guys, I could push up onto my knees and get a deeper hip flexor stretch, but I have no mat. I have teenagers and they've stolen my mat. Okay, then I'm just going to swap sides. So I'm going to bring that foam roller out to my right. I'm going to do that little side sweep to the side, open up the left rib cage, and then roll to the right. When you're doing these, just like me, you might find that one side feels a little bit tighter. So I have an issue with my right hip. It always feels a lot tighter than my left. Oh, now I'm ready to go back to my desk and finish my day.